you to the 10 o'clock coffee, tea, or whatever you're drinking. If it's something I want that you don't want to tell everybody, just don't tell anybody. Just keep it to yourself, because we're all in different time, whatever you want to, zones. And I understand that it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so that's okay as well. I see we have Jason Camp here. Angie Storley, if I pronounce your name incorrectly, please forgive me. Tamara Mercer, Allison May, Toya Harrell. And that's all I can see on my screen, Karen. So is that pretty much, I captured everybody? Just didn't want to leave anybody out. But if I did, my apologies. My screen's only so big. It's not a TV, so sometimes it keeps me from seeing everybody on screen.
I think you have everyone, Madam President.
Deanna Jones, thank you. Okay. So welcome everyone. Just hope that your day is going well. It is finally February, and I cannot believe the first month of 2023 is over. And now we're approaching Valentine's Day next week. So make sure you're good to your sweetie or your baby or whoever they are. I call babies my puppies. As everybody knows, I have about 100. And each one of them have their own personality. I really don't have 100, but I do have a few. But each have their own personalities, and for me, they bring a lot to my life. So let me give you a quick update. Just week before last, the IIMC Board of Directors was able to meet in California, and those who had never been to headquarters got the opportunity to get over to headquarters and look at the building and see staff and do all those things. For us that have been there a couple of times, we decided it was not another trip that we wanted to make. So we had a little bit more time to share with those. And it's a little unusual that we met in January. Normally, January, February is the executive board committee, where committee members and chairs and everything, members particularly, are chosen. And we meet as a group to go over what is good for the common growth of IIMC. And it gives us an opportunity to bond more, talk about things that we've been working on, where we are, what we may want to present to the board. But since Hurricane Nicole decided to pay us a visit in Orlando in November, our mid-year was put on hold. And at first we thought we would not be able to meet. But Mary Ann and I chatted, and I really do have to give the credit to Hans Riesch, our Region 11 director. We talked with him because Mary Ann and I spent New Year's together, and he suggested and thought, do you think this is a good idea? Well, since we were going to be there anyway, we thought, well, yeah, that's a great idea. We need, your board needs to know each other so that we can work well together. And there's so many things we didn't have an opportunity to talk about. So we put a really fast meeting together. Staff was really great in getting the hotel, and we were kind of squished together in a meeting room. But hey, it was all for the common good. I think we had a lot of fun, good discussion, some updates. So I just wanted to be able to provide some of the updates to you. On Friday, we normally have what is called a board development. And in my tenure on the board, as I became a director and as I tried to grow into a better role for IMC, I never really got any training for boardsmanship. What are we responsible for a nonprofit board? What does the board really do? So we were able to put together, and we didn't put it together, but we did ask Maureen from the California Institute, and she did an excellent job at beginning to help us understand what our role is. We filled out a survey, had some great discussion, and we're going to finish that in May for the Friday meeting for, what do we need to do? What type of leadership do we need to provide? What are our district members looking for? And what are our real responsibilities as we engage IMC and IMC members? And where do we come in when we work with staff or ask them for a favor, which Janet Pansleon past weekend or weekend before was really good. We got an opportunity to have cupcakes and wish happy birthday. And then we had king cakes from President-elect and her mom. And we got beads for Mardi Gras and all that kind of stuff. So, we don't only talk business, but we really had a good time. So one of the first things that we had a request to was to look at the Athenian dialogue. You may not know, but in early 2000s, we had a gentleman, and I want to say Illinois, and I may be wrong, and his name was Paul Craig.
You're right.
Thank you. He is the creator of the very first idea of having an Athenian dialogue. He started it in his area and thought, what a great idea. So he brought it to IIMC, and from the very beginning, it was an opportunity to meet together, read a book, and discuss. And I've never liked every single book I've read, but I can tell you I've learned something at every single dialogue that I've been involved in. Because there's, and it's not for everybody, I understand that, but it gives you an opportunity not only to read a sometimes great book, sometimes not so great book, but great dialogue, but you also get credit for it that you can put towards your MMC or CMC. And it's just a great way to meet different people and to step out of your comfort zone and talking a little bit more open with people around the table. So if you've not had an opportunity to do an Athenian, I would encourage you, but getting back to what the board did, the presentation was, since this gentleman has made such an impact on the Athenian dialogue, and without him, we would not have an Athenian dialogue. The board voted to approve the renaming the Athenian Fellows to the Paul Craig Athenian Fellowship. And that will start pretty immediately. So on the certificates, once those who are trying to get their fellow, it will now be called not the Athenian Fellowship, but the Paul Craig Athenian Fellowship. And there's so much that goes behind this with such a great person. He just loved what he did. He was a teacher, an institute director at the University of Illinois. He is where he was director of the Office of Public Leadership with Responsibility for Government. So Chris wrote me some little cheat sheet notes, which is very helpful. So the most enduring of these programs was the broadest reach is the Athenian Leadership Dialogues. And it's, of course, a one-day program. We've got many books to choose from and many books that are coming online as Athenian facilitators decide they've read a good book and it would be good for leadership, something that we can learn from, something that you can teach us as we do the dialogue. The dialogues gained traction in 2005, and at the 2009 IMC conference, the host committee proposed having dialogues, and that's the first time that we provided them. And as you know, we have dialogues now every Saturday and Sunday at each annual conference. So I would encourage you to go forward and enjoy reading books. The next thing that we did, we have a new director, which is called the Region 8 West. As you know, we divided Region 8 because there were 11 states. Now there's Region 8 East, Region 8 West, and Ida Fiaro, and I know I did not pronounce her name, from New Mexico, was sworn in January. And in May, we will have another new Region 8 West and a Region 8 East director. So 2 more people will be sworn in, which will give your board 26 members. We also looked at IMC's Code of Ethics, which we decided to have more discussion in May. So that will come back to us. And the big thing is that the conference grant scholarship for an IIMC registration has been extended to February the 28th. If you want to attend and you have not filled out an application and got a letter from your city that says, yes, they will cover the remainder of the expenses, this scholarship is worth $625.50. It's a big chunk of change. I was happy to receive one in 2010 so I could go to a conference, and it really makes the difference. So please take the advantage of filling out this application. We also looked at different policies and procedures, and as you know, we had this year a constitutional task force to look at our Constitution. So they provided some amendments, and they will come to IMC members at the annual business meeting. And I think that's pretty much it, an overview of the big things that we talked about. If there's any corrections, anybody, Mary Ann, Stephen, that you may want to share any additional information that you could think of I missed, please do so. No? Okay. Right now, I want to call on Tom Vanderhoven. Again, he is our contract person for Region 11, and he's going to talk about everything symposium for September of this year. Tom?
Thanks, Madam President. Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to receiving people in this year in September in the Netherlands. It's a joint event between IIMC and the VVG, our Dutch colleagues in the Netherlands, the Vereniging van Griffiers, and it's a joint event between us and them. And it's going to kick off on Saturday, the 16th of September in Bruges, in Belgium. People will come together on that Saturday afternoon. We'll have an event in the hotel that evening, get to know each other, and a dinner. Then on the Sunday, they're going to explore Bruges. We're arranging for horse and carriage travel throughout Bruges with somebody telling them about the history of Bruges and what's to see. And then that evening, we'll have a dinner together in Bruges itself. And then on Monday, they're going to travel to Antwerpen, and Tina Vervis, who's the person representing Excello, will be making the arrangements to meet with their mayor and some sightseeing in Antwerpen. And then that afternoon, the group will go on towards Amsterdam and have a dinner in the hotel in Amsterdam Monday evening. On Tuesday, they're going to explore the rural area around Amsterdam. They're going to visit one of the biggest orchid growers in the Netherlands. They're going to see the sea locks, which is one of the biggest locks in the world. They're going to visit Bodegraven, which is the mayor of Bodegraven, which is Hans Rijs's council. Meet with them. They're going to have a wine and cheese event the afternoon, and then return to their hotels. And then on Wednesday, they're going to explore Amsterdam itself. We're arranging a visit to the Anne Frank House. And then after that, they will explore Amsterdam city themselves. And the evening, we hope to have a dinner in the Rijksmuseum. They're busy with restoration of their restaurant there. I'm waiting for confirmation from them. But we hope to have a dinner that evening in the Rijksmuseum. And then on Thursday and Friday, they're going to join the VVG Symposium Conference. The event on Thursday will be in English and translated to Dutch. And then on Friday, it will be in Dutch translated to English so that people can understand. They have their annual conference on the Friday. The Thursday evening, there's going to be an event in a place called De Bali, which is a beautiful old pub. The conference itself will be held in the International Theatre Amsterdam, and I went to see the venue not that long ago, and I must say it's one of the most fantastic venues we've ever had a symposium in. It's not just a hall, it is really something to see. So we're very excited about it. We hope to start registration at the beginning of March. Chris will send out a notification. I've done some joining instructions for that. And we hope to have about 45 to 50 people on the study tour. And they will then join the conference at the end of the day. But if there are more than that, I'm sure we can accommodate that. It will be exciting. And we're really looking forward to welcoming our colleagues from North America, from Canada, and then also from Europe and South Africa. And happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Pamela?
I'm sorry, I couldn't get my hand to raise. Tom, do we have an updated schedule? If we're working with our municipalities, we have to provide them with a schedule of the events so they can justify the expenses. So do we have an updated schedule that you could provide to us as a support document?
At the moment, the detail is more around the study tour. We're waiting for the VVG. Arnoud van Kooi is their lead on the arrangements for the Thursday and the Friday, and that's where most of the speakers, the events will take place on those days. And we had a meeting 2 days ago, and they're busy developing that program. And as soon as that's available, we'll be able to give you at least a framework in March, but more detail around specific keynote speakers, etc., a bit later in the program. But at the moment, I think in March, we'll be able to give you a framework, definitely around the study tour, but also around the Thursday and Friday conference.
Anybody else? Thank you, Tom.
Pleasure.
I understand from Chris, we have about 40 or 41 who have already put their name in the hat. Chris said oftentimes that people put their name in, but they may not have an opportunity to, depending on what happening in their life, to continue through it. So I understand it's going to cost for the, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but it is exclusive of airfare, and it will be about $33 American, I do believe, to do the travel abroad study tour and the symposium, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so start saving your quarters now so that you can attend, and hopefully that I'm looking forward to being there. I attended the VVG conference last year, and it was pretty amazing the way that they do things, and the amount of people that are there, and just the things that they offered. I really enjoyed it, as you know, being a person from the States, and just meeting a lot of different people. And that's what it's about, getting together, seeing where each other lives, and sharing ideas, and you know, putting forward a friendship that you may never have unless you attend something like this. You know, and that also leads me to asking if there's anybody on here. Hey, Lana, I just saw you. Lana Antony, Region 10 Director, along with Stephen, just joined us. But if you've not joined a committee, if you've not put in an application, even though we've received applications, and President-elect Marianne Hess and Lisa Garcia, Vice President, will be looking at those applications in the next couple of weeks or so. Please don't hesitate to go ahead and put that application in. There is so much you have to offer, so much that you can provide the IMC by being a committee member, and you do this via Zoom. You know, it's very easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it helps you to understand the inner workings of IIMC. It also gives you a point towards certification. So we want to remember that, but more importantly, you get to meet people that you normally do not meet or converse with So that's how I started in IMC. I think I've been a member of just about every committee, but it helped me to understand what IMC is about, what we do in our committees. And it is a very important job if you're interested in being a part of. You know, I do have a couple of questions on my list here from people, and somebody had asked about certification courses through IMC. And Toya, I believe you're on. Would you like to speak to that so we can see if we can answer your questions?
Oh, sure. Yes. I was just wondering specifically what courses I should take that would give me the points I need for my certification. I'm not sure which one of the trainings and conferences that I should attend that will help me with my certification.
Okay, what state are you in?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Okay, if my memory serves me correct, you're getting some claps around for being in Wisconsin because you're in
Hey, Marie, I see Marie.
Marie's district. But there is an institute in Wisconsin. I would go, if you don't know, are you very new to clerking?
I've been, a little over a year.
Okay.
So I do the Green Bay Institute. Is that what you're referring? Okay, I'm on the advisory board for them.
Okay, so are you working towards your CMC?
I am, yes.
Okay, so I would talk to them because you want to get in their institute. There's certain classes that you need and they should provide that to obtain your CMC. However, on the other side of obtaining the institute CMC points and classes, there is other involvement in history that you'll need to look at, and somebody would be more than happy to talk to you about that so that you can get the right certification. I'm glad you're a member of IMC because you must be a member for 2 years before you can get your CMC. So that's a head start for you. There's also an application online to join the IMC CMC Academy stuff. And it's, there's some dollars with that, but I would urge you to look on that as well. And then just talk to your people in Wisconsin, or you can always call IMC and ask for, Karen, would you mind putting up B and Kelly's email address? So Karen is our communications person. She's going to put up those 2 emails. You can email both of them and ask specific question. Dr. Rodriguez, I called her B, but Dr. Rodriguez is our education director and Kelly Sixton is our certification manager. So either of them can answer any additional and in-depth questions that you may have to get what you need to go forward.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, Marie.
Another thing too, Toya, if you're working on your IMC designation, you can also be working on your state certification as well, because you can use those points as well towards your state certification.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So you can kind of check 2 things off your list at once.
Okay, thank you.
And feel free to get a hold of me and I'd be happy to help you out.
Add your email address in the chat box so she can take a look at that. That would be helpful. And Toya, the reason I mentioned committees is that every year being on a committee, you get a point. That adds to it, and you never know at the end how many points you may need to finish that CMC. But at the same time, you get to know more people. And we hope you'll have an opportunity to join us in Minneapolis this year. The conference committee is working really hard. And I think we're going to have some really good classes, which segues into the next question, which was if you signed up for a class and you're interested in taking another class, Dr. Rodriguez said, yes, they will be flexible in that. I don't know what the transition will be in regards to being able to go to another class, but we can ask her and I can get that information out this afternoon if you have an opportunity to join me, or I'll email you and let you know if I can find out that information. So in times past, this has been a couple years, we've signed up on, in the little app to take classes. last couple years, once you signed up for a class, you took that class. So it's good to know that Dr. Rodriguez is going to have some flexibility to allow us to change if we decide there's a better title or your friend's going or whatever reason you want to do in order to change it. So that's going to give us another opportunity. Somebody asked again about Athenian facilitator requirements. I would just urge you to go online and check off all the boxes that you need, because you do need to contact a current facilitator and work with that person in order to become a facilitator. And it's not just, you don't have to have a test or anything, but you will go through the practice, you'll put an agenda together, you will join a facilitation, and any facilitator is more than happy, I'm sure, to help you learn how to do this, to become confident in putting a book together so that you can lead a group in facilitating. And I think it's a pretty cool thing. It also gives you an opportunity to visit different places and people if you have a mind to travel and the time. But just go online and all the criteria is there. There's some information Karen is putting in the chat box for you in regards to Kelly and Dr. Rodriguez. So that's really all the questions we really had.
Can I add to the Athenian Dialogue facilitators? 2 items you need to keep in mind is, first of all, you must have your MMC. Okay, so you must be certified with your MMC. And second of all, you have to be able to provide a support experience that you have as a presenter, as a speaker. If you teach Sunday school class on a regular basis, then that can do, that can be an example of how you teach and prepare lesson plans. If you present sessions for your municipality, I present 2 or 3 sessions a year annually to our staff. Those can be opportunities to show that you do speak and present as an example and that you do have experience. So those are the 2 things that I would recommend as well to keep in mind.
Anybody have any questions regarding Athenians or facilitation? The last question I see here is that someone's curious about any progress or decisions made on the Beyond MMC program. And yes, there are progress. So it's no longer called the MMC Beyond. It is called, Marianne, what's it called? EPP, Educational Plus Program, Educational Plus Program. And we're hoping to open it up for, to begin with this program June the 1st. However, it has got to go to the Education Committee, and it will go to, we have a group of institute directors that look at everything. So that it also has to go to institute directors. So I met with the Florida Task Force this week. We were looking at it and talking about it, and we will be talking with Dr. Rodriguez and Kelly and Jay of staff on March the 7th to see, ask questions, to talk about what things we're looking for, So if you have questions once it comes out, or if you are interested, Dr. Rodriguez can speak to you about this if you're, something you want to go forward. So just so you know, you have to have your MMC. It is something that hopefully will provide additional learning opportunities for those who their counselor or city manager says, you've got your MMC, you don't need anything else. So hopefully this will bring a program forward that gives you an opportunity to continue with lifelong learning. If you aren't interested in the program, we still encourage you to make sure that you do lifelong learning. IMC offers a plethora of classes online from the Jim Tinneman, and I didn't pronounce that correctly, but there is a scholarship out there you can get, or you can take online courses. Dr. Rodriguez has opened up 2 courses every quarter that give you an opportunity to join in. And if you pay for it and you end up not being able to attend, you can listen to it later and still get what you wanted to, receive a point, and find out what the information was about. So there's I understand and I see when I'm looking on different state websites, there is some online learning offered on almost every state. And I have joined Virginia. I have joined New Jersey. I think I've joined California. So if you have an opportunity to do some online classes, that's a perfect way to get additional points for your working towards CMC, MMC, or just because you want to continue with your education. So I would encourage you to do that. Never stop learning, because as city clerks, we are the hub of our municipality. I truly believe that with all my heart. I don't care what your city manager says. If people want to know what's going on in your city, they come to you. And if you do not have a city manager, that responsibility falls to you. So we have so many small villages and towns and cities out there that the clerk does everything. And we need not to forget that every bit of training that you can get will help you broaden your horizons, help you do more, to be more, and to learn more. And I would encourage you to set goals, specific goals for what you want for your life and where you want to be. And, I would encourage you to be bigger in IMC. We have so much to give. And the reason we have a board throughout the United States, Canada, and Europe is to educate people more, to grow IMC, to help us be fiscally responsible for providing you an annual conference, online training, programs that will make you better at your job. So we're always interested in what is going on in other states. We want you to look and see when the rotation of your directors are. If you're interested in being a director, look at that rotation or talk to your current director in your state or region and see what it's all about. It may be something that you're interested in. I was one of those crazy people that saw the director and a president many years ago and said, wow, I think I might could do that one year. And it's just growing. It's just becoming to be more than you ever thought you could be. But if you think you have something to offer to IMC, we definitely want you to give us everything that you've got to make IMC better. Because as we come together as a board, we're working for members, we're working for you. And it's important that you know that. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, I know. And sometimes you may think, the board's over there, they don't care about us. But we really do, because every decision that we make is to encourage you and help you become a better member, more focused on your position, to be a better leader. We can all have some lessons in leadership. Some of us lead differently. I have a tendency to lead with my heart. And I was told one day I wasn't a good leader because I didn't lead with my brain. But I truly believe each of us have the capability and the capacity to be a good leader. You just have to decide what that is for you. And I still lead with my heart, and I don't think it's a bad idea. So poo on that person who told me that. I'm not even going to listen to them anymore. Is there any questions that those of you who I don't see your faces are listening to me talk all the time would like to comment on? Okay, so you can see since the last time I saw you, I have a little bit of tan. I've been trying to go to the tanning bed because I was so pale. I looked like I was Snow White. I wasn't as pretty as Snow White, but I said, I got to do something about this. And it's really hard to stand in a stand-up tanning booth to get a little bit of tan, because when I did a lay down, I would always go to sleep. Well, you can't go to sleep on your feet in a tanning thing. let me tell you, it's not advisable unless you want to break it and get in trouble. So I hope that each of you are taking opportunity to just live life. You know, I truly believe unless we look around us and take some time for ourselves, that we can't help others. And a lot of times, I know Camilla and I talk on a frequent basis, and we both are doing something for somebody else all the time. You know, once you go to your weekend, you sit down and read a book or take care of yourself. No, we got to do this and we got to do that. I think last weekend I tried to kill myself. We had a new fence put up because of Hurricane Ian, of course, like everything else new around my house. And my husband's not able to get out and do things. And so I needed to cut up some roots that were, all the trees were destroyed in the bushes, and there was these big fat roots. So I got the axe out and I decided I could cut these roots out. And I honestly think when I woke up Sunday morning, I almost did kill myself. I could hardly move. And that made me sit down a little bit more, but I really did. I did get some of them. And then I also found 2 huge things of cement. One of them I cracked up and put in the holes that were left open by the old fence, and the other one's still sitting there. I know all this doesn't have anything to do with IMC, but it does have something to do about taking care of yourself and what you offer to other people. And if you offer things that make your life whole, then you're able to offer IIMC that same thing. There are members right beside you every single day in the next city, the next district, the next borough that need your help. And sometimes it's all about a phone call. Sometimes it's all about a little card you can send. Sometimes it is just about saying hello. Because if we don't take care of our membership, then how can you expect them to take care of you? So that's why I ask you, if you go to a conference and you see somebody standing by themselves, would you like to be standing by yourself and passed in the hallway? No. So sit down with people you don't know. Talk to people that, not that you really want to get to know, but maybe it's a blessing that you are able to meet that one person, that one day, or that 1 hour. And I think as we grow in IIMC, that's what our dedication is about, that we give part of ourselves. If you're not a leader in your own work environment, you cannot be a leader in your organization. And sometimes it's hard to be that leader when somebody's pushing you down, but that's why we provide the training that we do, is to make you better at what you do so you can share it with somebody else, so that you can be a mentor. And most of you think, I couldn't be a mentor. Well, you're usually a mentor at your workplace and you're not called a mentor, but we constantly teach our deputy city clerks or our assistants or some secretary. We're constantly teaching them. We're constantly teaching our citizenry, our residents who aggravate us all the time, the right way to do things, the proper form to fill out, the proper information that they need to be a good resident, the policies your council passes, the ordinances that are new that it's up to us normally to explain to those who need to follow the rules. You're mentoring those people every single day. So there's no reason why you can't mentor somebody else in the clerking town next to you, or open up yourself to share with your deputy city clerk the responsibilities of the job, because one day you won't be there. One day you'll either retire, we're all going to pass one day, you'll find a better job you want to go to, and there's somebody else behind you that's going to be taking that responsibility. So why not arm them with the right way to do things rather than keeping the information to yourself? And that's what being a good city clerk is about. a good state organization member. Maybe you want to grow in your state organization. Cheryl Mooney's with us. She's the Florida president right now. I'm sure she didn't wake up one day and just said, "Ooh, I think I'm going to be president." But I do believe that she saw something in herself that she could give to FACC. And that's why she ran for vice president to become the president. And most of us who have been in that position, that's what we've done. We see something that we want to give, or maybe we see a problem we perceive and we have a way to fix it. Or maybe we can grow the education in your state organization or IMC, or you have an idea. The way to provide that is to grow in your organization. And IIMC and your state organization needs what you have to offer. So that's why I mentioned, put in an application for a committee, get involved. It doesn't take much time. Call somebody you've never called before. We all have a membership book or something for your district or state organizations or whatever. Get on the board and help them go to the right direction. You know, some of us have strong state organizations. Some of us don't have such a strong organization, but could you be that person that could help it out? Does your district need you for IMC to run for district director? Could you be on a committee? Could you step outside your comfort zone and give to the organization? It's not easy to do. I can tell you, I'm the one to say that I have definitely been outside of my comfort zone many, many times, including being president. It is not an easy thing to do, but I think it's helped me grow and be a better person. I think anybody in this position or in a directorship will tell you that it has provided them with satisfaction, knowing that you can just give back, because isn't that what life is about? You pay it forward or you give it back. I mean, there's so many opportunities that we don't take advantage of that we could take advantage of. So I've been preaching for 15 minutes. So is there anybody that is on our call that would like to say anything? Do you have an idea? Do you just want to, I don't know, just have something to say? This is not all about me. The reason we do these is to share the information with you. It gives you an opportunity to make a comment. I mean, well, at least that's what I do. I think everybody's input helps each other, and that's what we should be doing. And this is the slowest hour that I have ever had in my life. Gee, I don't know what's up with that today. It just seems to be a long time. Okay, so what else can we talk about? Minneapolis. If you've not been to Minneapolis, you've got to go. Oh my gosh. So the Tuesday night event at Minneapolis is going to be everything purple and everything Prince. So go to Amazon, because they have lots of Prince stuff and lots of purple stuff, and find something to wear for Tuesday night event. We're going to have some good music, lots of good food. And I just think it'll be a great opportunity. The conference committee is working really, really hard to put together a great, something popped up on my screen, I'm sorry. A great conference. On Monday night, remember, will be your district dinners. If your district has a dinner in Minneapolis, there are plethora of restaurants. When I was there last July, we ate somewhere different for every meal. And I'm a really picky eater, as most people who know me well, but everything was good. I mean, everything was good. It's in walking distance. It's a big city, but it's very walkable. There is probably 10 or 15 minutes away. There's this cool park that's a cultural art park that has a lot of sculptures. And it's just really cool stuff that you'll want to see. It gives you an opportunity to come out of the hotel, you walk over a bridge, and you walk for 10 or 15 minutes. And it's right there. You cannot miss it. There's a lot of venues that you can just walk around and look and see. There's a First Avenue restaurant. It's really a bar. I'll call your attention to that. That's where Prince filmed part of Purple Rain. And on the side of the wall are, his name is highlighted, but for every music person in the industry that has ever played there, their name is up on the wall on the outside. It was a great mural of Prince. Minneapolis and Minnesota is very happy that Prince was one of their guys in the music, grew up there. Then there's also what is called Paisley Park. You do have to take a trek to do this, rent a car or whatever. But Paisley Park is where Prince is his home. He recorded there. He also entertained there. They've got a gift shop. There's 3 different stages of touring of the facility. Depends on what money you want to spend. We had the opportunity to go backstage and see some of Prince's stuff, which is roped off, and somebody's there and you ask, can you do this or that? No, you can't touch things, but it's really cool. If you go to Region 8, I did post some pictures early on. I probably need to go back and post some more, but it's a wonderful, wonderful area. Everything's in one hotel right now. We are at like 80% in our reservations. The conference area is attached to the hotel. You don't even have to walk outside. But I would encourage you, Mall of America's there. You can take the train or the bus or whatever their citywide transit is. You can take that to the Mall of America. We didn't go in. We got to, just see where it was at, as well as the layout of the city. And we were chauffeured around during the tour and treated like, royalty. It was really cool. And the guy who chauffeured us has chauffeured Prince around. Going to different venues to play music or going to a plane, getting off of a plane and all that kind of stuff. And he told us some really neat stories and got some information that I didn't know about Prince. And I think I found out, and Marie, you may want to correct me, isn't Bob Dylan from Minnesota?
He is.
Okay. See, I knew there was somebody else in it. It very rarely pops in my mind, but if you love Bob Dylan, he's also from there. I didn't see a lot of, I think he's more lower key than Prince was when he was alive, and more stuff about Prince than Bob Dylan, but they did remember to tell us that he was born and raised in Minnesota as well. So I would encourage you to fill out that application for conference registration, but if your city will see your way clear, and they think a hotel's too expensive, you can also always share it with somebody. I normally share my room with somebody. Last year I shared with 4 people, believe it or not. We had a blast. It's interesting to see different people coming in and out of your room because they have their own thing going on, but it brings you closer together. And some people don't like to share their room, but I'd rather have people than be by myself. I think it's a waste of time just to be alone all the time. So, but please make sure that you consider it or you look at the information. The registration is open right now. We do it through an app. So, Karen, do you have a link that you could put in the chat box for those who may be interested for the registration?
I included the link to our conference page.
Okay.
Which is the hub for all conference information and includes a direct link to registration.
Right. Awesome. A question just popped up, Karen, that I glanced, but I didn't see it. Is it something we need to answer?
As far as I know, we don't create any roommate marriages for the conference, but you are welcome to find a roommate. Maybe you can answer the how part, Pamela, since you've been able to find good roommates.
Well, just through word of mouth. I mean, most people know throughout my career as a clerk, and I've always offered because sometimes I could not afford to go and pay for the room myself if I were staying alone. But in just talking to people, you know, are you going to IMC conference? Would you be willing to have a roommate? Or if you're talking to somebody, then you say, you know, and you talk about, and are you going? Somebody says, yeah, but you know, it would be better if I could room. Offer them the opportunity to room with you. You can have 2 double beds. You don't have to sleep in a king bed, although I've done that too. But most hotels have a rollaway bed if you need to have 3 people. But I would encourage you to share, because that experience for me is richer. It's stepping out of your comfort zone, because most of us just don't go to a conference and share a room with somebody. But I've always had a wonderful experience, and I just think it's an opportunity to offer the opportunity to somebody else who may not be able to go because they can't room by themselves, because the city says, yes, you can go, but hotel and the conference registration are the 2 biggest expenses. And if you can help somebody share, then that's the best thing to do.
I just added oh wait, let me make sure I put it in the right place. A link to join the Facebook page for the conference. That might be a good place to reach out and see if there might be another person to share a room with.
You know, you just made me think of something too. So each of your regions have a Facebook page. All you need to do is go to Facebook and search. If I can do it, which I have such a hard time on Facebook, anybody can do it. You just offer to become a member. If whatever region you're in, you should be a member of your IIMC region Facebook page. You can post on there. You could even post the question, I'm interested in going to the conference, but I may be willing to room with somebody, or anybody knows you want a roommate, you know, that type of thing. Put it out there so that people can give you an opportunity to attend. If that makes the difference in your attendance, step out of your comfort zone and do that. I know it's not for everybody, but it's something that I've always encouraged, and it's just a fun time. Plus, it gives you an opportunity, if you really know somebody and you have a relationship with them and you just want to chat or visit or get to know them better, that gives you an opportunity to do that as well. Some people might go, oh my Lord, here she goes again, but I do encourage it. I think it's a wonderful opportunity if you so choose to do that. So we're almost down to our last, we are down to our last 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Anybody else have, or does somebody have anything to say? Not anything else, but anything to say. Do you have any other additional questions that just happen to pop in your mind that you have a burning desire to ask?
Pam, this is Lisa Arpin in Connecticut.
Okay.
I have a question about the hotel reservation for the conference. My attendance is still on the fence at this time. Am I remembering that we cannot do kind of a hold reservation? Or am I thinking of a different conference? Can I still book a reservation that's cancelable at a later time if I can't attend? Thank you.
Thank you for asking that question, because I think it's really important. So in the past, we had people that would hold several rooms under their name, which would cause us to be full and not be full, if you understand what I'm saying. And we had to pay attrition last year. This year, the board decided, at the recommendation of staff, to, yes, you can put a reservation in, but if you do not attend, you're responsible for the first night. So if you cancel, now if you register for the conference and your hotel and something really happens that you cannot attend, a mitigating circumstances, those cases will be taken up by staff on a case-by-case basis. And we'll work with the hotel not to charge that first night. But if you make a reservation and you just decide, or your city does not allow you to go, and that may be an incentive for your city, that you say, well, I hope you'll really consider letting me go once I make this hotel reservation. The city will be responsible for that first night. But in order to get in the conference hotel, I need to make that reservation, because we are not going to a secondary hotel until this hotel fills up. And we are at 80% right now. So yes, the policy has changed somewhat, but it is so that everybody who wants to be in the host hotel can be in the host hotel, rather than us having a 3/4 way full hotel and we did not meet our contract responsibilities, because we do have to have a contract. We do have to meet a minimum room night every night, not just one night, but every single night, along with the, the food costs and the beverage costs. Is very important. And in the world of hospitality, if you do not, you have to pay a certain amount of attrition. So that is the reason for doing it. So I hope you understand, Lisa, the reason that the board and everybody else that made that decision, hoping that it would encourage people to really make that reservation and registration, and help your city understand, once I do this, please let me go. So Lisa, we'll keep our fingers crossed that your powers that be will see that it's important that you go. If they need a letter to whatever, you let me know, and I'll write a letter and tell them they better let you go. We're going to get on these people for not letting our clerks attend such important meetings to meet each other and to get additional education so you can do your job better. So we're down.
Thank you.
You're very
And
welcome.
Pam, thank you for that. And also, I was honored to be the only clerk from Connecticut in Little Rock, and that was, I received the first timer scholarship. And so thank you for that. And I realize how important it is to attend our conferences. Thank you.
See, if she got a scholarship and I got a scholarship, there's a couple of people on here that got a scholarship. You can do it too, and you still have that opportunity. So we're probably down to the wire. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to join me today. If there's any questions that you have, you certainly can email me, psmith2@leegov.com. You can email staff. They're always there for you to make an appointment to talk to them. Please, if you want the right information, talk to the right people. We try in our effort to school each other, and sometimes we get it wrong without meaning to. But the staff will give you all the information. We've got a great staff, and they're always there and willing to work. So I will bid you adieu. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you next time. And again, enjoy your day. God bless. Bye.